What's up YouTube, Kyron back up in here with another video, and today we are going to be doing it's going to be a talking bit, but before we get into all of that, I feel like it's important to just discuss a little bit. There's been a lot of things that have happened since I last chit-chatted to you guys, a lot of controversy that has happened, not surrounding around me, but obviously brands that I've participated in and brands that I've associated with. So I'm going to get into all the details of all of that right now, just to really let everyone be at bay and let everyone know my angle on things, because clearly I haven't had a chance to talk about it at all. So just gonna get into all of that right now. So firstly, we're not gonna beat around the bush. Obviously, I don't stand for child endangerment. I don't want anyone to let that get over their head. I have sisters, I have nieces and nephews. These are all people that I want to look out for and obviously care for dearly, as a lot of you others out there too probably have children in your life or around you that you care for. I don't support that. Nobody, I'm pretty sure, on this channel here supports that. So I just want to literally get that out of the way. I don't think that by you participating in a brand that has had some type of controversy surrounding around this, that is more up to debate with what actually happened and entailed, that is more up to debate because of more opinion or other things of that nature. I don't think you should be liable to be ridiculed and said that you are endangering children. I don't think that's something that is respectful to do. I don't think that's something that you should jump to the conclusion to say to anyone, because there's been a lot of people that have been supporting this brand for years. Cristobal has had this house for years, you know what I mean? So it's not this one scenario. It doesn't throw away years and years of work. I don't work for the brand. I don't represent the brand. I just participate in the brand, and I'm going to be as real as I can in this video. Children are one of the few innocent beings in existence, and to alter with that is just not right. It's cruel. So I just want to really get that off my chest. Just leave the children alone, man. Don't get them involved, please. So one of my first points I'm just gonna say is I'm gonna make it pretty realistic and relate it back to me, first of all. So I don't even believe in children's designer. I think that's something should not be a thing. It shouldn't be played around with. I don't think it should exist at all. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think because it alters your perception of classism and thinking that you're better than people from a very young age, when you don't even have a say for things yourself. You're getting conditioned by people that are putting these clothes on your back, which is probably your parents or whoever is responsible for you. I'll speak from a personal place. When I was younger and my dad was the one who is mainly responsible for getting me into fashion from such a young age, I was just aware of what was going on in my body, and I knew getting Jordans and other things like that was all things that made me cool and made me not made me better than people, but there was a clear difference from the kid that had the Jordans and the kid that had the And-Ones, you know what I mean? So knowing that from a young age is something that really psychologically messes with you, and I think a lot of people don't realize what they're doing by doing that to their children. Having that upper hand on another person creates this snobby mentality, and I'm so grateful that I'm actually humble and I have a head over my shoulders, because if I turned into this spoiled brat or this pure person and then got swayed by the people that were responsible for me, then I'd be really pissed, you know what I mean? And I don't want that for my children. I don't want that for anyone's children. So that's why I don't think children's designer should even be a thing. And that's why this whole, not to say that if that whole premise was avoided, this campaign wouldn't happen. I can't control the world, I can't control the universe, but I just wanted to let you guys know my angle on that. I don't even believe in that to begin with, so that just speaks volumes. I don't even want that to be accessible into the world. So saying that by me supporting this brand is child endangerment, that's so far from the truth, and I just hope that you guys actually realize that. It affects children's self-esteem, man. And and I seen how it affected not only myself, but it affected like kids around me. Like by having that slight upper hand, it's not cool, it's not dope. And I understand that there's always going to be classism, there's always going to be people that have more money than you or less money than you, but in general, any way to avoid that awkward feeling of not feeling like you're enough or like anything like that, and like projecting this narrative as a person from such a young age, is like any way that you could avoid that, I would do it. And that's why I don't believe in children's designer. So thirdly, I'm just gonna say that people need to really like assess scenarios before they go and judge them. I know we live in like an era where a lot of people just like see headlines or see news and then immediately they're like, oh, I stand for this. But in the reality of things, I feel like a lot of people have to do their own research and like really base an opinion on, yeah, sure, like you, like whatever your moral compass supports, but at the same time, it should be backed by facts and like also what is actually being said. And I think with what happened with this, it's like there's a lot of media outlets that are portraying this narrative that like for example, like the document campaign, like the documents in one of the campaigns, and then also like the bear controversy with the other campaign, and making them correlated together is like, that's just like, you can't be doing stuff like that, because then it portrays this narrative that's just not the reality of the situation. And like that's how like fake news gets spread. And like obviously this thing has blown up into such a huge ordeal, and it's just crazy, man. Like I don't know what else to say, but like people really just need to actually develop proper analysis when things like this happen, because it could easily just get really out of proportion if you don't give it the proper like research, you know? So the moment that I did, I was able to like understand like how this could have happened based on like what was presented and all the facts that were at play. But at the end of the day, it's like it really depends on what you value morally and what you were to take out of the situation itself. I'm able to see a lot different things than what was presented, but that's not like, I'm not here to express my opinion. I'm not here to like even portray a certain narrative. I'm just here to say that, listen, like I don't support child endangerment, obviously, and I have participated in the brand since way back, way before any of this, and I don't think that by me participating in the brand means that I share these values that are being portrayed onto the brand. I think that there's a lot of room for making sure that something like this never happens again, and that people have to realize that things like this, although it might seem like subliminal and like very clear that the agenda was a certain type of way, but at the end of the day, there's like so much risk that's associated with a corporate giant like Balenciaga that you can't really be risking millions and millions and millions of dollars with mistakes like this. It's like you can't be doing that. And a lot of people are saying that this was intentional. I don't know. That's not for me to say or to judge, but like clearly something has to be assessed like internally, and like whether it's Demna, whether it's the CEO, whether it's the people that did the production management of the campaigns, both of them, someone has to fix up, you know what I mean? And like someone has to make sure that these type of mistakes can't happen again, to even give the slightest narrative towards something that it is not. We live in a very sensitive time right now, and anything that is said should be backed with a certain story or caliber. There should be no room for interpretation anymore, just because right now, like even with art, it gets judged so heavily, and like you have to be able to like back your thoughts with what you're actually trying to say. And even though Demna has came up in this time where it's like Margiela era and all these other predecessors that came before him that were a bit more secretive and like let you have this like interpretation of a certain narrative, he's not in that time anymore, and like people have to like really be vocal with what they're trying to present, you know? So I think that's something that the brand has to take responsibility with and really make sure that they're saying what they actually mean. So as it stands, I'm just going to say, just to close off this statement, that I enjoy Demna, I enjoy Balenciaga's clothing, I enjoy the art for what it is. I'm not talking about what happened in the campaigns. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the brand in its entirety. I buy into the brand for so many other reasons, like aside from what just happened. You know what I mean? So I just want people to know that continuing on, moving forward, if you do see the brand, obviously it's going to have that sour taste based on what happened recently, but we're not going to just like act as if everything, like everyone before this incident wasn't buying into this brand. I'm going to be accountable, and I think as a creative, I hold that responsibility to be honest with you guys and really like say how it is and talk about my angle on things. And if you guys side with that or understand that, then for sure. If you don't, then I understand as well, and I'm sorry that I disappointed you if you feel uneasy about it. But that's more up to like personal opinions and like and your morals and everything at the end of the day. But I do know that deep down, when I am making the content that I do and I'm supporting the things that I do, I know that I did all that I can and I'm not doing anything to harm anyone. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not doing anything with ill intent. And I think a lot of people will have to realize that the brand was more than likely not moving with ill intent because there's so much on the line with corporate giants. And for myself being like, I have a lot on the line too. Like, what I portray and what I represent on this channel is important. You know what I mean? Like, I can't just go around like spreading hate speech or like child endangerment or any of these things that are just like very, very real claims. I can't be pushing those agendas, and that's why I made sure to like stand my ground and like and talk about these things because it's very important. You know what I mean? You guys know my angle. You guys know what I support and how much of like a real character I am. Like, I don't enjoy controversy. I'm not a problematic person. I'm not a political person. That's why I don't even really address most things like this. But my comments have been nothing but this because I'm such an advocate for the brand. I feel like it's only responsible for me to speak up on something like this. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from, and that some of you guys aren't triggered when I continue to support the brand, because I do have up and coming content revolving around some pieces with the brand that I purchased before the allegations and before the controversy. So I just hope that you guys are understanding of that and that you don't like ridicule me for it. But like, if you do, you have every right to do or whatever you want. Like, you could express your opinion, but as long as I push out my own narrative here and you guys are able to hear me out, then that's completely up to you. So closing this off further, there's just like so much to talk about, but I'm just not gonna act like there's so many other brands that have had actually put children's lives in danger. Talking about like fast fashion brands, buildings collapsing, children dying, like real deal stuff that's happening based on fashion. You know what I mean? Like, yes, this was serious and it could have been interpreted in a very serious way, but it's interpretation. It's not. It's very much intent versus actual action, and I feel like with a lot of other brands, they didn't pull up with that same energy when they heard about children dying in factories or other children actually like getting hurt because of fashion, you know what I mean? Or in the modeling industries within fashion, parents abusing their children by putting them through castings, making them do inappropriate things. Like, we're not about to do that. You know what I mean? Like, these are all things that I do not support, and I push that agenda heavily on the channel. You know what I mean? Like, everything that I push, like, I don't support fast fashion. I make sure that everything that I push, I know where it was made, how it was made, or I know some of the roots of that to begin with. So like, these are all things that are in line with my values and I have pushed from so early on. So like, when things like this come up and it's left to interpretation, I'm just like, it's more based on opinion at the end of the day, and it's not actual like facts. And if you want to base it on facts, then like, you really have to go and assess things for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, really go and do some research. I'll leave some videos below that just explain the scenario a whole lot more, because that's not my place to say. Like, I'm not a journalist. I'm just a spectator, a participant as well, because I'm a creator and I do buy into the clothing, but by no means am I out here to make a documentary on this. I just want to say my piece, say my perspective, and hopefully you guys are able to side with that. I'm sorry if this took very long. I just wanted you guys to really like get my ideas, and yeah.